Hey guys! So today's video will be a little discussion about something that's been on my mind recently, and then I will be taking you guys to this brand new vegan restaurant that opened up in my area. So I will take you along for the ride, and I'm meeting up with a good friend that I haven't seen in a while, so you'll get to meet her too. So let's go. Wow, okay, so the sun is going down much quicker than I expected, so I'm gonna make this nice and snappy. So these attacks in Paris happened, let's see, Friday now, and I am now filming it as Monday. And so, of course, over the course of the weekend, I've just been thinking about this so much, and I mean, I'm sure everyone has, and people are, scared to death. They're like, what's gonna happen with the world, and, what can we do to, fix this and solve this and, make it so we don't have to worry about this anymore. And, seeing all this from my perspective, from, being a vegan, not just being a vegan, but being, a very conscious member of society, I like to think, I can't help but, relate this back to veganism. I feel like everyone wants to do something to, make our situation as a planet, as a society better. And, in reality, that is a very, tall task, especially with, ISIS and just the mass amount of terrorism that's happening in this world. But there is something that you can do. And, terrorism is just, one with the theme of violence in our culture. And, it just seems to be so normal, so regular. We're so desensitized to violence. And, I do think, this has been discussion too, that, there's so much media and so much attention on these attacks in Paris, but, there's been so many attacks and different type of terrorist acts all throughout the world, for the past few months, past few years. And, we only really, put attention on people that you think are similar to you. And, that's a Western world country, just like, France is. So, we're going to have more media coverage on Paris when the same stuff is happening in the Middle East and, different African countries all of the time. So how can we fix this? Well, many people fail to realize this, and it's one of the main reasons why, I've become so passionate about the lifestyle that I live. Because it's one of nonviolence. It's one of total peacefulness, for all living beings, for, sustainable, peaceful lifestyle of, everyone on this planet and for this planet. And, something that you can do so easily and also benefit yourself is to omit animal products from your lifestyle, from your diet. And it is just so simple and so satisfying. And in doing that, you seriously decrease the violence going on. There is billions of animals being killed every year, millions per day, like brutally murdered and tortured animals. And that's just, so normal in the society, and it's disgusting. And, I think that translates so easily over to humanity. If you can treat a living being that way, then you can easily treat a human being that way. We're both living, breathing, sentient, meaning, feels and, senses, different senses, feels pain. It is so easy to translate that over. So I think a very, easy way to make a difference in this world is to omit animal products from your lifestyle. You will feel so much better. You will have a clean, conscious, and just be promoting peace through the way you live. There's a famous quote that I will share here, and, it makes sense. It really does. And, until you realize this and make the connection between, your food and, peace and, the planet, I think that, this violence will continue. Absolutely. It has to be a complete, 360 of nonviolence. It can't just be in one part of your life and not the other. So those are my 2 cents. And if you're on the other end of the computer and you're thinking, what is she talking about? These violent acts that are happening on human beings will never, compare to, animals, being hurt or killed or whatever it may be. then please please watch the documentary Earthlings. I believe you can find it for free on YouTube. You know, just Google Earthlings, you'll be able to find a free version. But I think it's really important to be an educated consumer, to be an educated part of this world, and really understand how the food that you're eating is getting to your plate. You know, it's a good thing to do, educate yourself. And I just want to shout it out to Hannah Chloe. I don't know if you even know my YouTube channel exists, but I follow you, and you actually inspired this video and, you know, really made me think about it. I already was making the connection, but just kind of inspired me to actually make the video and, you know, let people know what I'm thinking, and maybe they could, you know, start having these thoughts as well. So thank you. So I'm at a red light and I'm super excited. Like, let me just tell you guys, this is not a very normal thing. So this vegan restaurant is, so it's vegan, first of all. That's not, you know, something you come across very often, but it's also like a really healthy vegan restaurant. So it's more similar to the food I actually cook for myself, because a lot of times I'll go out to vegan restaurants or go to a restaurant that has vegan things, and it's definitely a very, it's more close to like a cheat meal, because it will have a lot of sodium, you know, in their sauces or however they flavor their food, which, you know, is great. And like I've mentioned before, it's a great thing for people that are transitioning to this lifestyle to understand that you can still have super flavorful food, but, you know, also like a lot of them is cooked in oil, so that's also something I don't ever eat except for when I'm out. But this place, sorry, I'm driving and videoing, so I'm gonna end this really quickly, but this place has very low sodium and it's oil free, so I am so excited. I'm curious to see what the menu is going to be like, and yes, I did peep at it online, but I think it was just a shortened version. So okay, I'll see you guys there. Bye.
Should I like introduce myself?
Yeah, just say hi.
Hi, I'm Colleen's friend Alana.
We're just checking out the menu now. We have the fall menu going on right now. There's a cooking class going on Wednesday.
Well, you are a whole plant, not whole plant based, whole plant only restaurant, organic USDA certified, and your goal is promote health eating here through education. So we have classes, we have events, we have doctors involved in forks of a knife, in plant-based cremation, and the goal is provide food as you're supposed to eat, whole plants.
We are ready.
Okay.
We'll just do one side salad and then we'll just split it. We're getting 2 entrees, but we're going to split both of them so we can like try each other.
Okay, that sounds good.
So we're going to do the organic spinach and sweet potato lasagna, and then also the organic curry chickpea chili bowl.
Okay.
My goodness.
Got beets in there, all that good
I
stuff.
love beets. I can add it. Sweet potato spinach lasagna and
Curry chickpeas.
curry chickpea chili bowl. Woo! Back from dinner now, and it was so good, guys. Everyone needs to go to Green Fair. It was more than I could have imagined. You know, it was not just a place that serves vegan food. It's a place that really educates people on all the aspects of the plant-based lifestyle, veganism, you know, the whole shebang. They sell all the books, you know, Forks Over Knives, The China Study, Starch Solution, and they host cooking classes, and they have, you know, huge people from, you know, the vegan movement, you know, really well-known doctors come and, you know, speak. Like they have Dr. Greger coming on December 10th. I'm totally going to that. And also they have a cooking class that's going on this Wednesday, healthy cooking for the holidays. Super excited to just get inspiration from my own cooking this holiday season. So it was so cool. And also it was just so nice seeing Alana. You know, I haven't seen her since the beginning of the summer, and you know, it was really nice to just catch up on, you know, what's going on in our lives and, you know, those regular things that friends do. So yeah, I guess that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. You know, it was a little different than the usual. Started with discussion, ended with a delicious meal. But yeah, so I will see you guys next video. Ciao!